Greetings to you, blessed ones who are with us. Where are you? You are in the metropolis. We say unto you that there was a time where there were many cultures in this place. We have said unto you that part of the reasoning for you being in this location in terms of your own human understanding was to begin to embed the new social consciousness onto the planet. Yes? Therefore, even though this one and this one were believing that this was a place of aesthetic significance only, we say unto you no. We say unto you that this place is akin to the beginning of the permeation of unification. There are many stories here about conflict and divide. However, we say unto you there was also a great deal of tolerance. The tolerance has not been remembered, however. Because why? Because the glorification of power and the glorification of defeat, of victory, of this kind of power, of this kind of leadership is what has been celebrated and remembered. Not the manner in which humanity is able to live side by side. You must understand that this place was an example of cohabitation. There were 12 different temples in this location. 12 different philosophies represented. And we will say unto you that they actually circled the boundaries of the city. This was a place where the temples were not in the center of the city, but they were moved into the periphery. We say unto you that there was a particular political navigation that was arranged here that would allow the cooperation to occur, and yet it has not been recorded. We say unto you that the reason that this place was able to come into its fruition in such a location was because of this cooperative nature. There are those that would say that this was built with labor of those who are less fortunate. We say unto you that is not so. We say unto you there were many that came to volunteer to bring all of the cultures of many different lands, many different tribes into this location. You can see that there were some additions to this location. The additions that came and started to fill the center of the city. And these are the ones that you see that are very dominant. But in the beginning, this was the metropolis of the cooperation. We bring you here on this day because it is a very fine example of how unification can occur in such density. We want you to understand that the metropolis here was very much impacting on the lands in all directions. And it was not a place that was a stronghold, but it was a place that was very much open to trade. So you must be clear that the significance here is that the ability for this place to thrive was not based on its ability to defend. Its ability to thrive was based on its ability to accept and include. And that is what has not been recorded in history. Humanity and those who have kept the records for your human history have decreed that it is only to be written that it is the powerful that maintain the power through defeat. And we say unto you, you are in this location to realize that that is not the case. Can you understand it? Let us bring you to your present moment on the planet. Let us bring you to the moment within your own nations where there is an impetus again to demonstrate power through defeat. And we say unto you, it is not the way. It is not the way that great civilizations were birthed. It is the way that they were ended. You will continue to view in the following days greatness. The scale of that demonstration will continue to increase in the next days. Be very, very mindful that the scale of that greatness has nothing to do with power and winning and losing. It has nothing to do with oppression. It has nothing to do with defeat. It has everything to do with inclusivity and cooperation. Because you will come to understand that nothing is born without it. And it is only the rise of power within certain segments of the civilizations that ignited the destruction. Why? Because the ignition of the destruction of identity happens with cooperation. What is it that you have experienced here in recent days? What is it you have experienced here in the mountains? You experienced that the end of your identity was ignited with cooperation. That is why we brought you together in this way. Do you understand it? If you're going to see a new planet, it must begin with cooperation. It stands the test of time. Cooperation ignited the civilization that was Atlantis. But it was glory and defeat that ended it. Can you understand? Very well. Is there a question?
So our current world situation for so many of us, the more we can increase that pulsation into the collective.
It is about announcing that you are here, announcing your visibility, announcing your presence. And that is a cooperative effort in its own right. All of you that come here, each and every one of you have all of the DNA coding for the entire humanity within your bodies. We have a wonderful array. Can you understand it? DNA is designed not to be encapsulated. DNA has a signal. It has an ability to resonate and reverberate between bodies. So what expresses in resonance from your own DNA coding sends a message to the DNA coding of others. Remember, ye are all water. Remember, ye are all made of spheres. Yes, the cooperation begins within you, but it reverberates into the material design of all of humanity. Can you see it? Just as the call was made in this location for many to come and cooperate to build the paradise that was here, so too does the reverberation and resonance within you echo out to create a paradise on the planet. Do you understand? There is sound within you. And every time you sit in the resonance of cooperation, that sound is reverberated through all of humanity. Is there a question?
When we go back into our 3D environments, how do we affect the greatest impact?
Are you in a 3D environment at this time?
No.
We would say unto you, you still are in 3D, but your attention is elsewhere because your body maintains you in 3D. Our answer to you is you must be willing to be conscious in every moment about the reverberation. The reverberation is your ability to impact your environment and your reality. We say unto you, you do not go back, you go forward. Just as you did on the lake, just as you create wake. Yes? The difference here is that there is no longer any resistance. You believe you experienced resistance on this day. We say unto you, you experience universal support. Yes? So it's no longer about what are we up against. It's about how many of us are listening. Can you see it?
Yes.
It's a very different energy.
So it's lead by example.
Of course. Are you willing to become visible?
Yes.
Wonderful. Not only with your words and your visual representations, but your energetic signature. Agree?
Yes.
Because ye call humanity in. Ye call humanity in for cooperation, and you have your new civilization. It's what all of you are here for. All of you want more. And all of you have come to expect more. So we say unto you, you hold the resonance for that to occur. Yes, ye are the seeders of humanity. You bring humanity together into cooperation. Do not believe what you hear. Do not believe what you see in terms of rising conflict. Rising conflict is the end of that which you no longer wish to engage with. Can you understand it? You do not need to focus on the prevention of that at this time, not this group. This is about knowing that the new civilization is where the focus is. Agreed?
Yes.
Agreed.
Then we are here.
We are.
I have a question. How many of humanity are actually ignited and are in that process of activating their DNA? They've already, been ignited.
We would say unto you, it is not a question of humanity igniting their own DNA. It is a question of consciousness waking up within that. And consciousness wakes up within that, within the ether of your humanity, every time it wants to create a new experience. But this is a new collective experience. Do you understand? That is the new experience. Collectivity and cooperation. Could you understand it? If you would ask us about quantification, we would say unto you, enough. Yes? Enough. Which is why you're beginning to experience the ease. It's why you're beginning to experience that, the seas part where you walk. Can you understand it? Very well. Is there another question?
Imprinting. As we're walking and imprinting, I'm just curious about the vibration and its travelling and the levels that it's working at.
We would not use the word levels. We would use the word permeations or permutations. We would say unto you it is a reverberation of resonance, a reverberation of sound, a reverberation of announcement. I am walking here. Hear me. Yes? Walk like God. I am here. Hear me. Hear my tone. Hear my song. Who will come and cooperate here? Do you understand? Because all of you are looking for your team. Are you not? You're all looking for your team. You're all looking for your tribe. You must learn to walk deliberately with a reverberation that not only announces to the planet, you are here, but it announces it to humanity. And the reverberation is echoed through the DNA and through the ether, and people come. Do you understand it? Ye are all leaders. Ye are all gods. So go, walk, be deliberate, create, call them in. That's what you came for. Agreeable?
Agreeable.
May we thank those that walked in unison with us. You perceive them to have walked before us, but they walk with us in one moment, in one time. Yes? Feel into the cooperation. Feel into the truth of the history here. And walk in your truth. Peace be with you.
Peace be with you.